He raped me, and he choked me. And while he was choking me, I lost consciousness. And I thought I died. I did not consent to any sexual activity. Although I did not undergo a rape kit at the time, I disclosed the assault to the people closest to me. I also recorded these events in my handwritten calendar. The assault and its impact were later documented during my therapy sessions at a sexual assault center in Connecticut. It had a profound impact on my mental health. I self-medicated in an unhealthy way. I did not want to live anymore. I cried all the time for years. At the time, I was in a dating relationship with a boyfriend I was fully committed to. I've never cheated in my life, and I would never have engaged in a consensual sexual encounter with Eric Swalwell.
Oh, Eric Swalwell, you magnificent hypocrite. The vipers you spent years feeding have finally turned on their keeper. And the poetic justice is so delicious, it could make a Bay Area wine snob weep. Because your real crime wasn't the Chinese spy honey trap with Fang Fang, where you let a suspected Beijing operative fundraise for your campaign, plant an intern in your office, and cozy up while the FBI had to give you a polite, "Hey, dummy, she's probably spying" briefing. Nope. Not the weird shit with prostitutes you did, or the fresh parade of women now accusing you of everything from unsolicited dick pics to straight up drugging, choking, raping, and leaving them bruised and bleeding after nights of heavy drinking.
You don't have to be a father of a little girl to care about the women who were exploited in this case.
While you were the boss. No, your unforgivable sin was getting greedy. You dared to climb out of your little safe house seat, protected for years by Saint Nancy Pelosi herself, and lunge for the California governorship. You interfered with the carefully curated Democrat power prospects. You threatened the lane of megadonors Tom Steyer, the billionaire climate scold who's been dumping his own cash into the race like it's his personal ATM for moral preening. Proving that with Blue Team California, you can survive a spy in your bed, known sexual assaults, but never a billionaire in your way. Suddenly, the guy who's been an open secret handsy creep in Bay Area political circles for 13 years, that's since his city council days, as one local reporter has openly admitted knowing, finds himself buried under a pile of credible, detailed accusations from multiple women, including a former staffer who says you assaulted her twice when she was too intoxicated to consent.
This is not about red team versus blue team. This is about sexual assault victims who deserve justice.
How very convenient. The same blue team that shielded you through the Fang Fang scandal kept you on the Intelligence Committee, which is rather ironic because I've seen you in long-form interviews and you were a dumpster fire. They kept you because you were their prized attack poodle, and they let you slobber anti-Trump nonsense and Russian collusion fanfic on every cable show.
Chris, so far, the evidence is uncontradicted that the president used taxpayer dollars to ask the Ukrainians to help him cheat an election.
Now suddenly, poof, drops the hammer. The moment you got out over your skis and threatened the donor class's preferred lineup. Turns out the safety net is actually a trap door when you stop being a useful ornament. You did their bidding faithfully, screaming, "Believe all women," for years, viciously torching Brett Kavanaugh with lines about how multiple accusers couldn't possibly be wrong.
It's very easy to isolate one incident and, shine inaccuracies or inconsistencies on that case, but the more and more cases that are separate and independent that look the same, pretty soon a prosecutor starts to say to a jury, and this is not a jury, but it's allegations that the arrows are pointing in the same direction. And what are the chances that 3 or 4 women independently who never met each other would have similar experiences with one person? So either, Ari, this person committed these horrific acts, or he is the single unluckiest person in the world for these people to conspire and make up lies against him. But it's a very hard case to make, the more allegations that come in.
How survivors deserve to be heard, and how skepticism was basically enabling predators. You lectured the country that patterns of behavior from women pointing in the same direction made coincidence impossible. Well, Eric, consider yourself heard. I'm just following your own sacred ethos now. I believe all the women. Every last one. The staffer with the bruising and the bleeding. The ones with the unsolicited nudes and aggressive advances. The new accuser holding press conferences about the 2018 hotel drugging and choking. The Bay Area whispers that were apparently common knowledge for over a decade. Multiple independent voices. Patterns, anybody? Power imbalance? Check, 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 and more check. You taught us that's all that we need, right? No pesky due process, no waiting for investigations, just immediate condemnation and career immolation. Funny how the standard feels a lot more like a noose when it's sized for your neck. And look at the results. You've suspended your gubernatorial bid, resigned from Congress effective this week, watched endorsements evaporate faster than the dignity, which in fairness you never had, and seen the House Ethics Committee open a formal probe. The machine you serve so loyally has decided you're now more useful as a cautionary tale than a useful idiot. Steyer and the rest of the Dem scrum are already divvying up your voters like hyenas at a fresh kill. Nothing says blue team brotherhood like watching your peers measure your office for new drapes while you're still packing your boxes. You built the trap, Congressman. You invited in and fed the vipers, cheered as they devoured others, and smugly declared it moral progress. Now, you get to slither into the pit with them and lie down like a good boy. Reap it, Eric. Reap exactly what you have sown. Every last slithering bite. Couldn't have happened to a nicer, more consistent champion of believed survivors. Unless, of course, the survivor is accusing you. In that case, it's all flat, false, coordinated smears and vague errors in judgment. What a guy. What a legacy. Sweet dreams in the Viper Den that you helped stalk. Tell me, from afar, what it feels like to get bit.